You drift gently in darkness, an ancient slow rhythm pulsing through your massive frame. Feel the cold embrace of the deep ocean against your skin, heavier than water, yet more comforting than any bed. You're a blue whale, the largest creature on Earth, suspended in liquid memory, beginning to stir just before the horizon flushes pink. A soft flicker of light above marks the surface. Even so far below, you sense it, the divide between your world and the sky. Your body responds, a slow, irresistible urge to ascend. With a powerful sweep of your flukes, you rise. Time dilates in those first moments. 1,000 souls of krill drift silently in the swell. You don't see them, you feel them, tiny pulses of life shimmering in your senses. The ocean is quiet. Your pulse is quiet. Your mind eases as you near the surface and break through into the dawn half-light. Air fills your lungs in a single, mighty inhale, burning with salty freshness. For a moment, the world above and below are one. You hold your breath, suspended between sky and sea, before sliding backward into the deep again, lungs fully charged for a new day. If this story brought you a moment of peace, we'd appreciate a like. To join us on future journeys, please consider subscribing to the channel. The water shifts gently around you, currents tugging at your immense body, guiding and coaxing. Each movement you make is slow, effortless. Your mind wakes gradually, just enough to notice the thrum of the sea. It's your alarm clock, the pulse of generations echoing in your memory. When you swim, your flukes push with a steady tempo. Rumble, push, rumble, push. That rhythm, inseparable from your heart, keeps you drifting forward, slicing through vast blue plains that shimmer and shift. Fish flash silver in the currents. A school of small forage fish darts out of sight, aglow in the morning light. You glide past them, unconcerned. Your attention is on the invisible magic beneath. Clouds of microscopic krill, kilometers wide. Today, your stomach tugs gently. A whisper of hunger. You've eaten yesterday and the day before, but in an ocean this immense, true fullness comes from feasting where food abounds. Ever present, faint like a distant song in your mind, are the low calls of other whales. You feel them more than hear them, vibrations through the water. Those calls beckon you westward, where the seas brim with nourishment. You follow. The first few taps of your giant tail push you up the thermocline, where colder water meets the warmth above. You crest effortlessly, turning slightly on your side, so a small snippet of sky drifts into view. Pale pink and orange smear the clouds. The sun will soon rise fully. For a moment, you hang at the surface, exhaling another great breath. Bubbles trail from your blowholes in lazy spirals, that drift apart like drifting dreams. You allow yourself a pause, peace spilling through your being. Then, with deliberate grace, you tilt downward and submerge, your entire bulk slipping beneath the surface. You feel the comforting pressure of deeper water press in around you like a soft blanket. Once more, you let your senses awaken fully. The sea floor is distant, hundreds of meters below, so deep that light begins to dissolve. But you carry your own light, the awareness of currents, the knowledge of krill densities, the calls of other leviathans. Through subtle shifts in salinity and temperature, you sense where life clusters. You alter course slightly, heading south. The echolocation pulses in your brain, low frequency, slow and rolling, enough to sense the edges of krill swarms, not high-pitched like a dolphin's. Yours hum through the deep like distant thunder. Not sight, not pure hearing, but a mixture of everything. Sound and resistance, movement and time. The fish you pass dart aside in nervous flares of silver. Up close, you glimpse the krill, tiny zygotes of red and pink, each the weight of a grain of salt. Yet billions swim together, enough to feed you for hours. You open your enormous mouth. Time stretches as water and krill surge in. Baleen filters sweep each gulp. You swim straight, eyes half closed, savouring the subtle shift of pressure as thousands of tiny creatures flood past your baleen and settle. Centered, deep, nourishing. And then you exhale and inhale again, rising slowly toward the surface for air. You let out the breath in a soft, singing sigh, water spraying skyward. This quiet ritual, breathe, dive, eat, is your sunrise ritual in the liquid world. You drift slowly yet purposefully through a sapphire realm that stretches endlessly in every direction. Light dances from the surface above, ribbons of gold and white filtering down to touch your thick, mottled skin. The day has begun, and the call of hunger hums gently in your bones. Not sharp, not urgent, but steady, ancient. The world you know is one of instinct and memory, of senses honed over generations. You do not see the ocean like other creatures do. Instead, you feel it. You feel the push of the currents, the subtle gradients of water that whisper of nearby krill clouds. You feel the sway of life beneath your belly and the brush of temperature where upwellings rise from deep, nutrient-rich trenches. Your body, almost the length of 3 school buses, moves with slow, grand grace. You are the ocean's quiet king. No predator hunts you, no threat startles you. And yet, the pursuit of food remains your daily rhythm, a ritual as old as time. A flick of your massive tail sends a shiver of power through the sea. It is not hurried. You glide. Ahead, the water thickens, not in colour, but in presence. You feel it before it arrives. The gathering density of life. Zooplankton, krill, microscopic organisms forming vast drifts like clouds in the sky. They move with the currents, sometimes visible as shimmering curtains when the sun strikes just right. You dive deeper, trusting the ancient tug of your instincts. The pressure increases, but it is no burden. You are built for this depth. There, the first sign. A glimmer, not of light, but of motion. Tiny flecks dancing erratically, scattering and regrouping. A krill bloom. You slow your pace, turning gently. It is important not to startle the bloom. Though you are many times their size, you've learnt the subtlety required to feed without losing the swarm. Then, with practiced precision, you open your mouth. It stretches impossibly wide, like a sail unfurling underwater. Water and krill surge in. You do not chew, you do not chase. You simply engulf. Hundreds of gallons of seawater and millions of krill rush into the cavern of your mouth. Your baleen plates, comb-like structures hanging from your upper jaw, act as natural filters. Water flows out through the baleen. Krill do not. They remain, trapped in the soft bristles, a protein-rich feast delivered by the sea. You close your mouth slowly, pressing your tongue against the baleen. With gentle pressure, you force the seawater out and swallow what remains. Satisfaction, not fullness yet, but contentment. The swarm is still thick, still dense. So you circle, repeating the dance. Open, surge, close, press, swallow. Each cycle feels rhythmic, like breathing. The pulse of the ocean echoes in time with your own. You rise again to breathe, exhaling a long plume of mist and spray that catches the sunlight. You imagine, perhaps, that a distant ship sees your breath from the horizon and wonders what great beast swims beneath the waves. You are too vast for their nets, too deep for their sonar. You are a ghost to them, an ancient spirit of the sea. As the hours pass, you eat and swim. Eat and swim. Not constantly, not hurriedly, with the slow patience of a creature who knows time differently. You recall, faintly, other places. Feeding grounds far to the south, where cold Antarctic currents rise with the bounty of krill. And warmer places, nursery waters you once travelled through, as a calf beside your mother, her heartbeat echoing through the sea like a drum of safety. Those memories live in your skin, your bones. They do not fade. You carry the map of the oceans in the marrow of your ribs. A sudden burst of movement catches your attention, not danger, merely curiosity. A pod of dolphins approaches from your right. Sleek, silvery bodies twist and turn in unison, a blur of playfulness and chatter. They spin and leap, diving around you like children around a campfire. One swims directly in front of your eye, clicking and chirping, its tiny gaze locking with yours for a moment. You do not respond, not with movement, but something ancient and slow within you acknowledges them. You have seen many dolphins in your long life. They are always moving, always speaking, always dancing. Unlike you, they must always think. You, however, must only know. After a while, they depart, speeding off toward the sunlit shallows. You continue on. A faint current brushes against your left side, cool, full of promise. You adjust your heading slightly. Below, the krill cloud thickens again. The ocean darkens, not with night, but with life. You descend once more, deeper now, deeper still. You open your mouth again. Feed, drift, breathe. The ocean becomes your lullaby. Your flukes beat a slow rhythm. Push, glide, push, glide. As you drift through the dimming water, the krill bloom you found earlier has thinned now, and your stomach murmurs with a reminder. The sea is generous, but it asks for patience. Above, the sun arcs westward across the sky, unseen but not unfelt. You track it through the warming layers of water, the gentle shift of pressure, the faint tilt of the earth beneath the tides. Time passes here, not by seconds, but by swells and sighs, and the rhythm of breath. You rise once more. The surface glimmers with golden light. You breach gently, your back rising like a great hill out of the sea. Then exhale in a deep, resonant sigh. A fine spray dances into the air, catching sunlight like tiny prisms. The air tastes sweet, salt fresh, infinite. You hold it in your vast lungs, then descend again. With your breath renewed, you set your course toward a deeper feeding ground, following the instinct etched into your DNA. South, toward the nutrient-rich upwelling where cold, fertile currents rise from the dark abyss, bringing krill to bloom in silent underwater storms. Along the way, you encounter remnants of the world above. Floating kelp beds, tangled with driftwood, the distant call of seabirds, the echo of a far-off ship engine. But none of it concerns you. You are beyond such noise. The water thickens with purpose. A different kind of life appears here. Jellyfish pulse in slow, hypnotic motion. Transparent ghosts drifting with the grace of dream sleep. Small lanternfish flit among them, their bioluminescent spots flickering like stars in the dusk. You swim through them all, vast and quiet. A strange calm falls over the sea, and then you find it. A krill bloom, unlike the last, massive, denser, alive with motion. It stretches from one end of the seafloor canyon to the other, writhing like a living tapestry. Each tiny creature swims blindly, together in perfect chaos, oblivious to the Leviathan approaching. You do not rush, you do not startle, you simply become part of it. With one long glide, you enter the bloom. Your mouth opens again, wide as a tunnel. The krill rush in. It is not a gulp. It is a gathering. A communion. Water pours through the baleen. Your tongue moves softly, pressing, filtering, collecting. A million tiny lives become your sustenance, your continuation. You repeat the dance 5 times, 10, until your great stomach warms with satisfaction. The ocean offers, and you accept, and for a time, there is balance. You drift now, letting yourself float between thermoclines, halfway between the warm shallows and the cold deeps. It is here that your body rests, not asleep, not awake, but aware. One half of your brain dozes, the other remains alert, ready to swim, ready to breathe. This is how you sleep. Not like humans, not all at once, but slowly, gently, in pieces. As you drift, your body stills, your heartbeat slows. The sea rocks you in her endless cradle. You remember being a calf, swimming beside your mother, shadowed by her giant form. Her eye was always watching you, her song always near. You remember the way she'd guide you with just a nudge, how the water tasted different when she was near. You remember the migration, your first great journey, when you followed her from warm equatorial birthing grounds to the colder, krill-filled poles. The journey was long, but she was patient. She showed you the stars above and the sounds below. Now she is long gone, as all things must pass. But you carry her song in your bones. You exhale slowly, sending a final plume of air into the night sky. Then, with one last push, you descend again into shadow. Tomorrow, you will feed again. Tomorrow, you will listen for distant songs. Tomorrow, the sea will welcome you once more. But for now, you drift in peace. The Sea is a great book, written not in ink, but in currents and memory. You, the blue whale, are one of its oldest stories, told through movement, breath and song. You glide slowly through the open ocean, heading south. There's no hurry. The path ahead is older than you, older than any whale alive. It was carved by your ancestors, sung through water and passed down in silence. You do not follow a map. You follow feeling, an ache in your bones, a current beneath your skin. The water is cooler now, deeper. The sun's light fades faster each day, but you are built for these distances. Each beat of your powerful flukes sends you gliding for dozens of meters. Hours pass like heartbeats. You remember this route, not with words but with sensation. That one upwelling that always smelled of rich plankton. That one narrow canyon where your mother once led you through a maze of reef pillars. The sea holds memory. You are its vessel. Occasionally, you call out, a deep vibrating note that travels farther than any sound made by humans. Most go unanswered, but one day a voice answers, faint, far, another whale, perhaps older, perhaps younger. The call is different. Every whale's voice is like a fingerprint, but its tone is kind, curious. You do not meet, but for a while you swim, knowing another voice shares the water. You pass over the crest of a submerged mountain. Below lies a chasm where, long ago, you paused beside your mother. She sang a song that pulsed into the ocean floor, slow and sorrowful. You were young then. You didn't understand. Now you do. This place is not marked on any chart, but you remember it. It's a place where lives once began and ended. Perhaps a whale long gone sleeps in the sediment below. You circle once, in respect, and then you move on. For days, your body travels a steady rhythm. You rise to breathe, descend to rest, veer slightly when instinct tells you. Along the way, you pass a young whale, a calf, barely weaned, alone but strong. Its song is small, like a question. You answer. The young one swims beside you for a time. Its movements are clumsy, excited. It breaches once in a burst of joy. You don't correct it. You simply sing again, low and calm, a note filled with reassurance. By morning, it is gone, veered off toward another current, but its memory stays with you, like the imprint of a wave that once passed. The days grow shorter, the cold deepens, but ahead lies the Krill, rich waters of the Southern Ocean. A feast, a promise, a return. You breathe deeply at the surface, exhaling a mist that spirals into the wind, and you swim on. Because some places call not with sound, but with silence, and the ancient part of you remembers how to listen. The surface is calm now, still as glass beneath a silver sky. The wind has gone quiet, and only the soft hiss of your exhale breaks the silence. For a moment, you hover, half in air, half in sea. The breath you just took is rich, cold and deep. It will carry you far. It will carry you down. You begin your descent. At first, the water folds gently around you. Light still dances here, pale and dappled, wrapping your form in ribbons of blue and white. But soon the colour fades. Blue turns to indigo. Indigo turns to black. Sound thickens, pressure gathers, and the sun disappears. You are not afraid. You have done this before. Your body is made for the depths. Your ribs bend gently under pressure. Your lungs fold without harm. Your heart slows to a deep, steady beat. Each thump echoes in your chest like a drum. The world narrows to sensation. There is no sight now, only the soft pulse of movement, the whisper of your own massive presence sliding silently through the water. You dive deeper, 100 meters, 200, 3. The pressure is a friend here. It holds you gently, cradling your bones. With every downward stroke, the surface slips farther away, and yet you are closer than ever to a hidden world. This is the twilight zone, where strange shapes drift in the dark. Here, lanternfish shimmer like falling stars. Jellyfish pulse in slow spirals, their lights glowing in red, blue, green. Creatures with long, delicate tendrils float past like dreams. Some see you, some don't. You keep descending. 400 meters, 5, deeper still. You pass through a vast open cathedral of water. There are no walls, no floor, just a wide, endless chamber where gravity feels softer and time begins to lose meaning. Here, your thoughts slow, not because you are sleepy, but because everything is still. You feel weightless. Even hunger fades, even memory quiets. You are surrounded by silence, but it is not empty. It is full of everything that ever was. A thought stirs in your mind. Not quite memory, not quite dream. You feel yourself as a calf again, small and warm beside your mother, wrapped in the safety of her sighs. You just remember her deep songs, full of old oceans. You remember how she slept just beneath the surface, and how her breath always came back, no matter how long it was gone. And now, in the deepest dark, you hum a note to yourself. Soft, almost private, a lullaby. It travels no great distance, but it fills you, and that is enough. You turn gently, letting the pressure guide you upward once more. You do not rush. Your return is as calm as your descent. The layers of the ocean rise like curtains being drawn aside. One by one, they welcome you back. And then, light. A single beam strikes your skin like a fingertip of fire. Then another. The surface approaches, shining with gold. You break through quietly. Breathe. The air is cool. The sky is pink with fading light. Stars begin to appear. You float. Not swimming, not diving, just floating. Half in the sky, half in the sea. The deep still calls to you. It always will. But for now, You let the breath linger, and the ocean rocks you gently into sleep. The sun is gone now. Only the stars remain, bright pinpricks of light scattered across the sky, reflected softly on the water's surface. You drift near the top of the sea, just beneath the skin of the world, your great body quiet and still. This is the time for song. You take in a long, slow breath. Then you open your mouth, not to feed, but to speak in the only language you have ever known. A deep vibration builds inside your chest, rolling upward through your throat, out into the water. Your call begins low, long and wide, like the slow opening of a canyon. It travels in every direction, sliding through the darkness for hundreds of miles. A listener wouldn't hear it. They'd feel it. A shiver in the water, a presence in the bones. This is not a song for music. This is a song for being. Each note carries something different. Memory, territory, loneliness, longing, joy, the ache of distance, the pull of belonging. You pause and listen. The ocean answers, not all at once, not loudly, but somewhere far away, so far that it feels like another time entirely. A faint voice rises through the dark. Another whale singing. Its voice is old, rich with slow wisdom. It matches your call, not in pitch, but in presence. A harmony of giants. And then another voice joins. And another. Like stars lighting one by one, a chorus begins beneath the sea. You do not see them. You do not need to. You are all connected by vibration, by the invisible strings of song stretched between your massive hearts. Each whale sings differently. One sings of the cold southern winds, how they push the krill to the surface in swirls of life. One sings of birth, the warm, shallow waters where calves take their first breath. Another sings of loss, of a calf who wandered too far, of a mother's endless circle through empty water. Your song returns, fuller now, woven with theirs, and for a time you are not alone. There is no need to gather, no need to speak with mouths or meet with eyes. This is enough. This is presence. This is knowing. The songs drift and stretch, rolling on slow tides of silence and sound. They reach far beneath the surface, curl around reefs, bounce from mountain walls. Some songs will reach ears that won't reply for days. Some won't be answered at all, but still they sing. You sing because the sea is wide, because the world is quiet, because somewhere someone is listening. Eventually the songs fade again, not because they end, but because night has grown deeper, because the water grows thicker with sleep. One by one, the voices quiet, even yours. You take a final breath and sink just slightly, enough to rest. to drift. Your last note lingers behind you, echoing into the black. And even as your body slows, your heart still vibrates with song. You are the ocean's voice. And tonight, the ocean dreams of you. The sea has gone quiet again. Not from emptiness, but from peace. The songs have faded, the currents have stilled, and the stars above now shine bright and steady, unbroken by wave or wind. You, the great blue whale, drift just beneath the surface, suspended in silence. This is the ocean's true sleep, not still, but gentle. You are neither awake nor fully asleep. One half of your brain remains aware, watching the world. The other sinks into a slow, floating dream. This is how whales rest. Not with closed eyes, but with open stillness. Your breath comes less often now. Each one is deep, spaced far apart, a long rhythm of life. When you rise, you do not breach. You do not exhale in a spray. You simply touch the surface with quiet grace, sip the air, and slide back down. The moonlight filters through the water in wide, silvery columns. Plankton glows faintly in the distance. Jellyfish drift like ghostly umbrellas, pulsing in and out with soft light. A sea turtle flutters by, slow as a thought. None of you are in a hurry. You are home in this weightless world. Time loses meaning. You dream without dreaming. Somewhere deep in your bones, you feel the pull of tomorrow, the hunger that will return, the krill that will bloom again. But not now. Now, the sea rocks you. It tells you stories of other whales farther down the world, crossing warm shallows under starlight, of storms that will pass above, barely touching the quiet below, of coral forests glowing in the deep trenches when no light from the sun has ever reached. You listen to it all, not with ears, but with your whole body. In the distance, a soft sound, not a whale, not a fish. It is the rhythm of the ocean floor itself, shifting slightly, groaning like a giant in its sleep. The tectonic hum of earth carried through water. You have heard it many times before. You'll hear it many times again. And now, you rest. The current wraps around you like a blanket. The water cradles your flippers. Your heartbeat slows. You rise for air once more, quietly, and settle again into the dark. All is well. The stars above know your name. The sea beneath remembers your breath, and the world sleeps with you.